Why doesn't hard work pay off for younger people today as it did for past generations? The hard truth is, young people can't afford homes and are postponing starting the families they want, in large part because past policy chickens are coming home to roost. Let me introduce you to 3 of those bad birds and talk about how we can clean up their mess. First off, meet mismeasured inflation. Around 1949, Statistics Canada began measuring inflation in ways that downplayed the actual price of houses, overlooking how much one needed to save for a down payment, overlooking how much one in total needed to borrow for a mortgage. Flash forward half a century to see how those decisions played out harmfully. Between 2000 and 2022, average home prices increased by over 300%. Yet Statistics Canada reported that total inflation was far less than 50%. By underreporting the impact of housing on inflation, StatsCan then influenced the Bank of Canada to keep interest rates artificially low. And while cheap credit has some perks, it has a dark side too. Many Canadians borrowed larger and larger sums in order to bid up the price of existing housing, and when that happened over decades, it caused home prices to surge, leaving earnings behind. Now meet Miss Inadequate Revenue Plan. When the Beatles were singing "We Can Work It Out," our governments were failing to work out how to pay for the baby boomers' retirement when designing our old age security and medical care systems. When boomers were young, there were 7 working age adults for every retiree. But now as retirees, boomers want the same if not better services when there are just 3 working age adults to foot the bill for every senior. As a result, Miss Inadequate Revenue Plan is saddling younger Canadians with underpaid bills for medical care and retirement income for today's boomers. That leaves less revenue left over to pay for things that young people need, like childcare and housing and climate adaptation, and they inherit larger government deficits. And now for anyone who really cares about having a habitable climate, you've probably already met our 3rd bad bird, Miss Laissez-Faire Pollution Policy. She's ruled the roost for decades and decades as our governments let people and businesses pollute for free or little cost. Our current government began to tackle this intergenerational injustice by putting a price on pollution. But this bad bird, she's not going away without a fight. Too many Canadians are being misled to think that the price on pollution is causing us our inflation pain. But we cannot solve our wallet problems by neglecting our climate problems. We solve wallet problems by having better policy for housing and childcare and post-secondary. Because we cannot try to save money now by punting costs for our pollution messes to the future. When we make a mess, we need to clean it up. The good news is there's still time to clean up Canada's public policy chicken coop, and that's why Generation Squeeze is asking the federal government to appoint a generational fairness task force. Many of Canada's biggest problems are too deeply rooted, too devastating to be distracted by partisan slogans. We have to take account of the intergenerational fault lines that are compromising this country's prosperity and our promise to the future. That's why appointing a generational fairness task force can help us to fix the short-sighted policy problems of the past by taking a bird's-eye view by which we can make this country once again work for all generations. Because we must prevent past policy chickens from coming home to roost and laying even more bad policy eggs.